I'm just gonna have to get over it. It's a catastrophe, like the tile-tastrophe. Oh my God, they all fell off. Frig. I'm kind of over it. If you want to move into the home you've been building the last 3.5 years, you need a toilet. In order to get a toilet, you should have down your tile. Continuing on this long series of getting plumbing ready for us to move in, last week I finished up the underlayment for the tile floor and the underlayment for the shower, making it completely waterproof. Time to do the tile layout. And introducing you to the Terracotta Vibes bathroom. A beautiful terracotta orangey ready color. This is for the shower. This is for the floor. Still considered a neutral, but with a pop of color. We got these 24 by 24 inch tile, which unfortunately turned out to be 23.5 by 23.5. And I'll explain why that sucks in a minute, but they're really quite lovely. So here's my dilemma that I'm very upset about, because I didn't think that a 24 by 24 inch tile was gonna be that much smaller than 24. I either have to put 1.5 inches of tile on this side and 1.5 inches of tile on this side, or I do a 3-inch small little piece over here. Originally, I was gonna be able to center it, and then the trim was going to cover the seams. It was gonna be tight, but man, this is brutal. The 3-inch gap is going to be covered by the vanity, by the toilet, and then here it's going to be open. So, you know, you can put something there, a plant, a little magazine rack, the curtain can hang here.
Time to get the first pieces cut.
I never locked this in. That was a terrible idea. I was wondering why it was so tricky to cut. Okay, there we go. First cut of the day. So this was a lot more difficult than the tile I used the other week. I don't think this blade is doing well. I don't think there should be black there. Like, do you see my dilemma? How silly even a 5-inch strip looks beside a 24-inch tile. I'm just gonna have to get over it. All right, round number 2, I have a new blade on here. I'm gonna try it out and see if it cuts a little bit more easily. Okay, that was so much quicker and perfectly fine. Which it did chip a lot more though. I'm officially going to tile this row and this corner. I'm gonna wait to cut these tiles. I just wanna make sure all of this is placed, and then I can take the cut off here and put it in that corner. Actually, I may as well just cut it quickly. I can just take it off a tile that I'm gonna use here. And then this cut off from those two guys is gonna be used here. I have to let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes before I mix again. And I'm just checking everything is gonna lay out nicely. We are 23 3/4, 23 3/4, 50 and 50. And I checked for squareness on this side as well, and it works out pretty well. It does taper a little bit by like 1/8 inch to this side, but that's not gonna be noticeable. I'm gonna keep this laser line going through to set that first row and get everything in place, and everything will be based off of that. A lot of people asked why I didn't use a chalk line and why I'm using a laser, I guess. The chalk line is fine, but as soon as you put mortar down, it's gone. Like I guess it's good for laying out. It's just as soon as you lay the mortar down, it doesn't matter anymore. So the laser, you can see no matter what. First things first, I have to fill the circles here. I actually really like this product because most of the underlayments I've seen are squares or like triangles or diamonds, and it's a lot more difficult to fill, supposedly, than the circles. The circles fill in like 2 passes, and then you have to back butter the tile. It's the best way to get full contact when you go to collapse your mortar, because you're gonna collapse it from a 1/2 inch down into a 1/4. Clean up the edges. And I like using one of these, although they're not great, so you have to be careful. Getting it a little wet helps. I've left a 1/2 inch on this side of space because then you push your tile over and it collapses your grout. I'm gonna get it lined up with my laser and then clean it up and I can move on to the next one. I like doing my mortar lines before I put my spacers in between, just because I find the spacers get in the way, and I like leaving a gap in between my 2 tiles with the mortar because it spills out so easily and so quickly, and I find the more space you give it with still being able to get mortar under the tile, the cleaner it is. And collapse. All right, this is pretty flat, and I'm just gonna put the wedges in to make sure it stays level. That's why I put 3, because 1 always breaks and I can't get it back in there. And instead of working myself into a spot that I can't reach, I'm gonna skip this tile, work on this section, and then put this one in last. Well, the last of this row. Using my knees to hold me in place and a hand on that wall. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. It's too tight. I'm gonna just have to push the stuff at the door closer to the door, I think. I wasn't expecting this, honestly. Hopefully it actually moves though. Okay. I think that's gonna work. Now to shift everything back in place. That was a little stressful. The first row is officially finished. That was really stressful, but I'm glad it all worked out. I have some cutting to do now. I have to get these tiles cut and the flange cut around this tile. I think I'll do this corner next, set them in place, and then batch the last section, I guess. I do have some mortar sitting and waiting, so I don't want it to dry out, so I think I'll just cut these ones and then use up the mortar. Yay! And this guy is gonna be overlapping. I have my last 4 and 2 slivers cut and ready to go. And I can't believe it. The amount of progression that I made in tiling from the entryway in the maintenance room to now, I'm gonna get all of this done in a day. 1 day. It took me 7 days, not full days. Let's break it down to maybe 5 full days of tiling the maintenance room and entryway. A little bit more complicated, much larger, but I'm really happy with my progression of this. Shut the f up. This one chipped? Oh no. Oh, okay. I can use it here. When did that chip? Oh, of course, it's a little tight. There we go. There we go. The chip is gonna be covered by trim. Oh my gosh, I was gonna panic. This is my last tile. Yay, last tile. I'm so hungry. I've been at this for 9 hours. It's a little high. Okay. Everything worked out, is in place all in one day. I'm exhausted and I'm so hungry. I will see you tomorrow. Yay! I'm so very happy I got this done in one shot. I can kick all of these pieces loose now, wipe it down, get it clean. I'm so happy. Okay, it does still need to be cleaned. There's mortar on everything. And I did better this time than my last tiling project. I got most of the mortar out from in between the tiles, but there's always gonna be a few spots, especially where you put those tile spacers. Like this, right here. There was the tile spacer here. It got squished up. Mostly everything else is good. Just a few spots. Luckily, the mortar isn't perfectly dried, so this is actually really easy. So I'm gonna go around, get any little bits of mortar off, and get this place cleaned up. The mortar is still drying. I should give it a little bit more time. So I'm actually gonna paint the walls in here. Originally, I was like, I'm not gonna paint any of the walls. We're just gonna move in. But I wanna have the wall color done in here before the toilet goes in. Makes sense. I can't paint behind a toilet. I just have to remove the plates for the electrical. Whoops. Make sure the walls are clean enough. And then I can get to cutting. I know it's just another shade of cream. It's really nice though. It's called Cloud White by Benjamin Moore, and it's their bathroom and kitchen line. And I'm so happy. It looks so clean and crisp, and it's such a small bathroom with very little natural light. So having something bright white is really helpful, and it has warm undertones just to go with the warm undertone terracotta floor. And there's going to be like a warmer white tile in here as well. And I compared the paint to the tile with the terracotta, and it looks great. Guess what? Finally came in a plug to be able to properly water test this pan. I'm pretty excited about that. So what I'm going to do is actually template my shower using little sticks of wood, keeping 1/8 off each side. That way I can go ahead and actually cut all this tile. This has just been crazy. Today was a PA day. I'm barely getting anything done, it feels like. And honestly, it's just, this week has been personally nuts. All the research I've had to do too really slows me down. And then when you like run out of things, like I needed this plug to come in to be able to do the shower here, and I couldn't trim the room until this curb got tiled, and you can't put the toilet in before you trim and caulk, or else you're gonna have to pull it out and do it later. So anyways, this was the next necessary step. So I'm gonna template this, fill it up with water so it can run a 24-hour test, and then hopefully tomorrow morning I can start cutting some of the tile out of the template. Fingers crossed. It's been 13 hours. Let's see where it's at. I'm happy. I'm really happy. I don't think there's a way this is leaking is done right. I think I'm good, honestly. You know what's super annoying is that I have to wait 24 hours for this test. I feel like that's pointless. Like, it did not drop overnight. Why would it drop anymore? The first thing I'm gonna do is lay my tile out and figure out where I need to cut all in one go. It was a little tricky because everything kind of was out of square. I don't know if it was the tiles or this thing, or if my shower pan is out of square. It could be, but I don't think it is. I could probably just go check for square. Okay, yeah, it's out of square. Quite out of square, but it's okay. First cut. I'm not going to use this guy that clamps in because all of my cuts are angled because shower pan's at a square. So I think as long as I'm paying attention and looking at the line, I should be able to make it work. So I have the base fully cut. I'm super happy with it, but now I have to make like a design decision slash usability decision. So I want the curb to be the same color as the rest of the floor. Makes the most sense, but I don't know if I should use the 2 by 2 inch squares on top of the curb or if I should just use them on the sides and if I should use a solid piece on top. Now, the only thing with a solid piece on top is you do want it matching up with your lines here. So there's again gonna be another silly sliver here, but probably covered by the shower curtain. Visually, I prefer this. And I think it'll be fun to have the squares on either side, but to keep the top kind of like a slab. You can get solid slabs for the top, but they don't come in this color and I don't want it to just be like white on top. Honestly, it's gonna come down to the ease of the cut, but I bought new blades so I can try it out. It's a little bit chippy. I don't know. I've heard some people say go upside down, but I think that makes it worse. I'm gonna try it. I don't think it makes a difference. It just chips more than the one I did in my entryway. I think that'll work pretty well with this breaking it up. Honestly, the cuts, not even, kind of looks funky and fun. It's a good way to look at it, right? And time to get these cut. It's about 5 inches. I have my tiles cut and ready for tomorrow and I'm fingers crossed, hoping to get this tiled. And it's official. I passed my water test. Yay! Amazing. That should dry nicely for tomorrow. Good morning. It is time to tile the pan officially. I have probably 3 hours, so I'm gonna try to get it all done, the curb, everything, because I really would like to grout tomorrow. First things first, I have to mortar the grate into place, square with the rest of the tiles. You're supposed to fill it all in first. So I had a hard time deciding whether or not I was gonna back butter these tiles. Technically, you don't have to for most mosaic tiles, but from what I was reading, because I have a lot of grooves on the back of my tiles, because these are cut down from 24 by 24 inch sheets, like I have in the rest of my bathroom, that it's better to back butter these. And I learned a pretty cool trick on a flooring vlog, and I'm gonna try it out. Instead of trying to back butter the tile, the guy recommended to trowel 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch over here, set it, and then peel it off. Collapse the ridges. I feel like I'm still gonna deal with mortar coming through the grout. Also, all of these tiles just fall off. Oh my God, they all fell off. Well, most of them fell off. Frig. Kind of worked though. Well, that was dumb, but it was worth trying it out. That's 95% coverage. There's no need to back butter. I'm gonna have to set all of these individually. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is not going well. All the mortar just came through. Everything's moving. Wow. I'm really disappointed. Like I don't know how I'm gonna get the mortar out of there. I don't even know what to say right now. Wrong side, but does it matter? Such a mess. Like, is this even meant to touch liquid? Why did it all just pop off as soon as there was any mortar in it? I'm really concerned now. I'm so upset right now. I genuinely don't know what to do. Oh man. Like, you can't even wipe anything down because then all the tiles move. This is so dumb. I don't think there's any fixing this. I don't like have other tile to change this out, so I kind of want to just see how another sheet goes. Okay, that did a lot better. I might just have to peel this sheet out. I don't know yet. I just don't know what I'm gonna replace it with because I don't have anything. What's the point of having grout if you have mortar, you know? Kidding, I'm so upset. I'm just gonna have to take that out, aren't I? Like, how do you clean that out? I can clean this out nice and easy. This I can't. Everything moves. Actually, that was a clean swipe. But there's so much mortar in here. Yeah, see? See how they moved? Everything is just moving. It's impossible. These two are stuck together like nothing's lined up. Night and day difference between the two. Don't do this. Don't back butter. There's no point. There's no point. It's just gonna be a huge mess. Like my emotions this morning, apparently. A little tight there, which means everything needs to shift. This one had a lot that moved around. I think I just want to take this out. I don't know. I have a half sheet I could use here. Yeah, this whole section. I'm so over it. That's better. And then I just have to individually place the other tiles. To be in the center and to have it all messed up like that is really disheartening. And a lot of people will say in the comments, don't stress, or, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. It's your first try. And I get that. But when you're experiencing it in the moment, when it all falls apart, I'm not like disappointed in myself. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not upset with myself. I'm just upset in general with how things went. But it's still normal to feel overwhelmed when the chaos happens. It really slopes at the last bit, which I don't love, but at this point, I'm doing the best that I can. All right, I tried my best. I think it looks pretty good. There is mortar stuck in between the tiles, and every time I go to try to get it out, it moves a little. So I think my plan is to let it set a little bit and come back in later to try to scrape some of the mortar out. That was stressful with that first sheet going to absolute crap. Don't ever do that. I still have to put the tile on this guy. This is the drain piece going in the middle, and you require 3/16 between this tile and the inside piece. So it's been a few hours. Everything has set enough. There's a few little mistakes I'm noticing, but it is what it is. I'm just going to quickly wipe this down while the mortar is still fresh enough, but I need to do the sides and the top of this now. I just wanted this to set a little bit before I messed with the sides. I have a feeling it's going to be so difficult with the amount of tiles falling off the mesh backing. Is this gonna work? It's just gonna slide down. Oh dear. It just slides. Did I make it too wet? Ugh, I feel like I'm wasting so much mortar. I'm gonna try to make it thicker. All right, we'll see if this one goes. Off to a bad start. See if this one does better. Thicker thin set. Okay, that's a bit better. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's better than the first round of mortar, but yeah, this one's still slipping. Oh my goodness. It just does not want to stay up. Nothing about this is going well. I'm really unimpressed and I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe this just wasn't meant to go on a wall. Like, probably not supposed to go on a wall. And it's really quite beautiful, but it sucks. Doesn't stay, and I don't know what else to do. It's falling down. It is what it is. I'm just gonna get this in here, and I may be able to fuss with it as it cures a little bit more, but I'm kind of stuck with it, honestly, and I'm kind of over it. I was gonna leave it with it looks good from your house or looks good from the lake, but I got a last minute thought and I think this is gonna work. I didn't come prepared with spacers because why would I? Because the sheets were supposed to stay together, but maybe I'm using this in the wrong application. Maybe I'm not supposed to put them on a wall. It's very likely at this point because of how horribly this has gone. I think if I do makeshift spacers, this could work. And I could make it look better than just looking good from your house. I could make it look good in my own house. Well, it is a mess, but it worked. Everything is lined up. Nothing is sagging anymore because it doesn't have the choice to. I feel so much better. And this side, it wasn't as bad for whatever reason. It started off terribly with too runny of mortar, but more of the sheets stayed whole on this side. And so I didn't have to do as many spacers. Whereas this side, nothing stayed together. I think we can say that was a tile catastrophe. It was a catastrophe. Like, I don't think I was so stressed. I was completely stressed. My daughter was like, you should take a break when you're stressed. And I was like, you're right. Anyways, the mortar setting, it was really sweet. And then she chatted with me and Tommy's mood felt better. I'm gonna go spend time with my family and watch a movie or a show or something now. And hopefully after a bunch of cleanup, this can be grouted tomorrow.
But you're gonna have to tune back in next week to see the grout complete. There were a lot of ups and downs this week, from completing the rest of the floor in one day and it going smoothly, to having a mental breakdown and literally crying over the shower tile, to now seeing it without the spacers and the mortar cleaned up and feeling like I had a little bit of a redemption. I'm so happy to be making this house a home, and I cannot wait to see you back here next week to see it that much more complete.